Hi there, welcome to another episode, a test. Tired of Volkswagens? Today we might destroy another third-generation Golf. Not the one I have for you, but the rusty one from my yard. I should start from the beginning. Recently, Waldemar, the moto advisor, started the topic of what would happen if we had too little oil in the engine. I think we all know that already. But what happens if there's too much oil? That's right. This was an inspiration and I talked to the guys. I even talked to Professor Chris, and he's probably going to do a similar test on his channel too. What happens if we overfill by 1, 2, 3 or 4 liters? I divided this material in two parts. The first one is theory. I will explain you what it's all about and what could happen considering the build of the crankcase, venting system and all. And finally, I will do the test.
Airwave announcements will conduct this exact test without prejudice under the jurisprudence of the soul, the mind, the body, the positive, the negative, the ground, the proton, the neutron, the electron, the yin, the yang, the young, the sun, the moon, the star.
We'll be adding oil 1 liter at a time and see what happens. Now let's say about what it's all about with the crankcase, the sump and oil deficiency. It's best to show it on living organisms, so let's start from the engine block. It's commonly called the block, more technically referred to as the crankcase, as it has the piston crankshaft system inside. Now imagine that the top is covered by the sump and here is the oil pickup, the oil pump. If there's too little oil, just flip it upside down. Then oil won't get sucked in by the pickup and won't get into the whole oil artery, making the red low oil light flash. Okay, cool. But what happens when we have, say, this level of oil? Let's say up to here and then we start adding more and more. One theory is that the shaft sealing might break. I'm not so sure about that because there's a reason why we have the oil separator, which regulates excess of pressure in the crankshaft. The problem might start to appear when this amount of oil starts to get deeper and deeper, enough to reach the cylinder. I reckon this will take more than 5 liters, maybe 6. So really, what happens when we fill it up to the brim? I don't know, but let's take a look at some oil sumps to see what safety measures the producers use against the stupidity of some users. I should say this scene by saying, welcome to my kitchen. Was that a lame joke? My regards to Piotrek anyway. What do we have here? Oil sumps. This one is a sump from a 3-liter BMW diesel and this one comes from 1.9 TDI 1Z from my Skoda. As I told you, the engine broke down. What's my point? Producers take safety measures against users who put too much oil in. As long as it stays in the sump, nothing special should happen theoretically. Okay, some sumps are made in such a way that the shaft sputters somewhere here. But this is not so bad. Now, what's my point? The capacity of the oil system is not the capacity of oil that rests in the sump. There's a filter along the way and it contains from a few hundred millimeters to even a liter. So if this one takes 3.5 and this one 6.5 liters, let's say that the sumps should contain roughly 3 and 6 liters. So let's see how much oil they will take. What's the margin of error in BMW versus the wagon? One more thing. DPF filters post-combustion producers or leaking injectors passing fuel through into the oil. Then what? You pour in 5 and pour off 6 or 7? These things sometimes happen too. Let's start by filling this one up. I might need some help, but we will see. 5 in here. Come on, give me a hand, don't be shy. Don't worry if there is a small leak. Will the ship hold this leak? Hey, you said 5 liters. This is what a dipstick examination looks like. Anyway, we poured 5 liters. Let's add, say, 1 more. Let's say it's 1 liter. What do you see here? It should take 2 liters more, easily. So, up to 6.5. Drip drop. A little from the other bottle. 6.5 liters in the system, so roughly half a liter over. Lever hard, no? As you like it. Check this out. The system is overfilled by around 2.5 liters, and if I had leveled the sump well, it could take some half a liter more. There is still some space in this corner, so it still wouldn't be so bad. The only thing is that the shaft sealing might break, but it's still far away from the chamber, from the cylinder where the piston works. In this situation, maybe the shaft could sputter some oil, but I think it should still be fine. So they left the margin of at least 3 liters in the BMW. Let's do the same in the wagon now. Let's pour 3 liters in. The 5 liters bottle is full to the brim. No need to be over-precise here. The wagon is the wagon, but we know what we are doing. Half the bottle is gone, so 2.5 in. Let's say that we have... Wait, there's a gauge. It was 5 liters. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, a little more. Okay, 3 liters in. See? Again, there's a margin. Let's start by half a liter. A little too much, but no worries. Another half liter. A full 5 liters already in, no? Not bad. Out of 3 liters there's already 1 liter surplus. Adding from a 1.5 liter bottle. Splish splash. Nothing as objective as the water level. Take a look. 2.5 out of 3. Theoretically, nothing special should happen here. Although, if there was too much pressure increase in the crankshaft, there could be sputtering from the oil separator. And so much for theory. So, designing the oil system, the manufacturer leaves a margin allowing the user to pull half a liter or 1 liter too much. As you can see, there's a problem at 2.5 that we didn't have at 1 liter. With 1 liter too much, even the shaft wouldn't catch anything here. So let's see how actual engines do when they are overfilled. This Golf is only good for the junkyard, and that's where it will go after these episodes. I will still want to use it to check out hydrogen cleaning though, but believe me when I say it has been used for all these smashes and trashes with denaturated alcohol and all. Don't mistake it for the Golf we are building for the viewers. Only the color is the same. Let's start then. The oil level in the engine is correct, the top range of the gauge. We took the oil separator out because this is a turbo diesel and if it was pumping too much oil. Anyway, I want to see what's going on with the separator. I think there's no sense to start with 1 liter. I will begin with a 2 liter overfill. Let's be fair. A single take, there you go. You will see it well on the white background. Can you see it? You can. It has been determined that you can see it. So that nobody can say I'm cheating. I will take some from behind the camera. Don't ask me what oil I'm pouring to an engine with a death sentence. I know I could have used plant oil. That's a thought. I like that. All right. How much is this? 4 liters. Half of it then. I'm curious myself. You know how stoked I am for such tests? Like a gypsy for an allowance. More. Remember not to do it at home. I overdid it a little, so it's 2.5 liters over. Start the engine, Mr. Simon. Let's wait some 10 minutes until it heats up. Listen up, the car is warm, nothing came up the oil separator and the engine didn't explode. We would probably have to do a long distance test, but I was curious if nothing would happen right away. So what? Another 2 liters? All that applause and I'm just standing here like a moron. Alright. If you want, we can fill it to the brim. We have twice the nominal amount in now, just under 4. It normally takes 3.5 and I added 4. Will the engine explode? Will Jessica fall in love with Brian on the next episode? This is the minimum, I mean the desired level, and there's this much in, so we overfilled it by a lot. I will start it and see what happens. But I will move away. I better stand here. Start it. Even the pressure lamp stopped flashing. Maybe you have to step on it. There! Step on it! Whoa! Step on it! Wait! You know what happened? It stinks. We just blew this diesel, so the engine is seized. But the theory with it's not seized, it will live. Sorry, I'm just laughing my head off after seeing that oil fountain. But it's what I said. Let me build up some seriousness now. In a critical situation, oil excess will go up the separator, just as you can see here. But see for yourself. Alright, the smoke blew over, so did the laughs. What happened? The exact thing I said. The excess of pressure sent it all up from the crankshaft through the oil separator. Unfortunately, even though the whole system shut down, some oil got sucked in and our diesel blew a little bit. It probably didn't seize though. I had said it did, but I think it lasted too short. Let's see. What do you say?
Is it really an indestructible engine? Let's see if it starts. I will move out of range. So it ceased. It has too much of... I can tell by the exhaust. Okay, a little bit of oil has burned. It might have ceased with that RPM increase. Keep on turning it. Oops, step on it more.
Ooh.
Seriously, let's sum up the whole episode up. Did I just kill another Golf? Listen, this Golf. Remember what it has run on instead of fuel? Plant oil, oil from the gearbox at the test station, and it still started and drove out. Surely what I predicted proved right. But where's the borderline of absurd here? If we overfilled by half a liter, theoretically nothing bad should happen. Up to 1 liter. The Volkswagen was still okay at 2 liters overfill. Plus it spat that whole surplus out till the level it had after adding 2 extra liters. Doubling the right amount with oil leaking out of the sump and reaching higher can have consequences. Surely the surplus will be spat out through the separator. But how? Abraded bearing shell? Loss of pressure? You know, pistons work up and down, suctioning and pushing oil out. A million things can happen. I don't want to take this engine apart. I'm going to do it for the episode with hydrogen cleaning anyway. We will see if hydrogen cleaning really works. Smash or trash. We want to shoot this material in the next couple of weeks. So if you have too little oil, that's really bad. It can seem okay if you're below the marked level. Lights not flashing because the oil pickup still picks up oil, but if you are on a curve and the oil goes on one side, then the pickup has no oil. Losing lubricating film for a short while may not be so tragic, but it's good to keep an eye on the oil. And don't redneck when choosing oil. That's redneck thinking. If you don't understand that, if it says 5W30, it has to be 5W30, and not 15 or 40 because some savage mechanic told you that. It will seal the engine better. That's all bullshit. Just to wrap it up, that was fun, we blew this diesel a little. If I had left the separator, it would be completely blown. So I know how to trigger a blown diesel now or to prepare for stunning it. But I didn't want to do it in here because I don't want any connecting rods, bearing shells or pistons flying around in the garage. Maybe the pistons would not shot out, but a connecting rod for sure, as you have seen in many episodes, like the one with the Golf engine. Subscribe, share, let it travel and let everybody see what happens when we overfill by half a liter, 2 or 4 liters of oil. Also remember that if the system contains 6, 7 or 8 liters, a 2-3 liter surplus will mean something different than it did here, right? You have to calculate it by capacity percentage. Newer engines will be less tolerant too. So really, don't try this yourself, just keep an eye on the oil. And remember, in a turbocharged diesel engine the motor can blow because the oil might replace fuel, so even if you take the keys out and there are no flaps to close and stall it, the engine will go crazy. End of story. See you in the next episode.